I was just speaking to a couple of other businessmen before you came on here, right? And they were telling me the exact same thing. They were saying Generation Z and Generation Alpha is really struggling to hold down jobs.
Respect is very important when it comes to anything. Whether it's respecting time, whether it's respecting each other. In your program, what I found was you teach these real fundamentals that should be in us.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Success Podcast. I'm here with a very special guest. He's one of my students, Dinith Patirana. Dinith, nice to have you here.
Thank you, Shashank, for having me here, and I feel privileged and honored to be a part of your program.
Absolutely. How's it going today? All good?
All good. So the weather is nice, and I'm really happy to be here.
Fantastic. Dinith, give me some background about yourself. You've been in the banking industry for a long time, 20 plus years,
Yeah.
and you now have your own business. Can you give me some background of how your career started and where it has ended up today?
Well, just after school, maybe while I was doing my A-levels, I was not that, guy who would be that studious guy. So while I was doing my A-levels, I actually applied for the banking sector and I got a job in one of the leading banks in Sri Lanka. So with that, I started my banking career, and that gave me a lot of things in life. I'm sure it made me the person who I am today. Gave me the solid background, the foundation. And apart from that, I think the banking sector is one lucky sector where you can visit so much of clients, meet so much of different businesses. And just like a doctor visiting with a patient, customers have to divulge all their information to the bankers. So we get the inside information from all types of sectors of businesses, all types of clients. So that's a very interesting sector to work. I won't say that it's very comfortable, but definitely it's a sector that I really enjoyed working in. So from there onwards, I worked in 3 major banks in Sri Lanka, or 4 major banks. And each and every bank was totally different to each one another. But the fundamentals, the basics were same as in banking. And I met so much of clients. I met clients who have become more like friends and family sometimes. And I still have the contacts with them, and they still respect. That's a very important and interesting another factor about the banking industry. People respect you a lot. And it also pushed us to be very honest, because you deal with money of other clients, and there's natural expectation that trust is always there. Honesty is always there. And always the banks would have their own values, which you have to really focus on. You can't do the things the way that you want. You need to be very mindful of the bank's values, and you have to work accordingly. So that shaped me in a different way and made me a different or a better person, I would say. So time went by. It was all banking that I did. And I ended up as a senior manager in a bank in Colombo. And later on, I felt, now I have seen so much of businesses. I have seen so much of banking. And little by little, I felt banking is becoming a little bit boring for me because it was the same thing over and over. But I loved working with the young generations, teaching them the banking, teaching them the basics. But I also had a thought in my mind that I should be a person who could retire early. And maybe just do nothing at all, or just relaxing, maybe traveling, maybe just having a bit of coffee in the morning with a relaxed mind. And with that, with all these things in mind, I took early retirement. So while I was taking the retirement, the decision taking was a bit of a struggle, I would say, because you are at the bank for so much of years. Your salary comes, whether it's COVID or whether it's whatever the situation in the country, the greatest comfort is that you get your salary paid right on time. So with that in mind, it's very difficult to take a decision to start your own business because you have that worry. When I'm not there, will I have the respect? Will I have the power to do things, even though I have seen so much of other businesses? But still, having all these things in mind, my wife is also into her own business. She has her own preschool, an international preschool, which is doing quite well. In fact, I should say it's the best or the biggest in our town, which is Maravilla. And she has 120 plus kids studying there. So that's a big school when it comes to a preschool. So with that in mind, she was also, initially, she was always very happy that she gets to work with the kids. But later on, she was always nagging, saying nowadays kids are very difficult to handle. Nowadays kids are not kids anymore. So she was nagging, with a lot of things. So listening to her, I always felt there's a reason. Maybe because after COVID, kids were more in inner spaces. They never got much chances to associate with others, maybe play around. And I felt there's a gap in the education system and the kids and how it goes on. Then I felt I should start my business which aligns with her business as well. And I always wanted to do a very good type of a business which is not going to harm the environment, which is not going to harm animals or things like that. So with that intention, I thought maybe if I put up a swimming pool, maybe if I try to teach them sports, maybe badminton, maybe something else, if I do that, maybe these kids can get connected to certain part of sports from the earliest ages. So with that in mind, I took that bold decision to put up a swimming pool with all my savings and with all what I had. And I started that business. I would still say it's not a business, it's a part of improving the next generation with their life quality. And with that in mind, actually, I came up with a business called Aquatots, which is basically the swimming club. And apart from that, we have karate for self-defense, and music and dancing. And as of today, we have over 350 kids being registered. And that's about how we came through. Yeah.
You said that you or your wife told you that kids are facing different issues these days, or they're not kids anymore.
Yes.
Right. And you mentioned that, okay, after COVID is when you started to see this change.
Yes.
What happened during COVID? You said that they were indoors, but what happened during COVID that changed an entire generation? Because I was just speaking to a couple of other businessmen before you came on here, right? And they were telling me the exact same thing. They were saying Generation Z and Generation Alpha is really struggling to hold down jobs, is really struggling to pay attention to things, is really struggling to be resilient when trying to face a problem. What happened during COVID that changed an entire generation?
Well, it's an interesting thing that we must actually, all of us should focus on. I'm sure it's one thing, nobody was prepared for that. And apart from that, parents mainly, maybe they came up with their own strategies. Everyone focused on being protected. And I think we finally ended up with overprotecting everything. Back then, when we were kids, we walked to the shop to buy things, maybe to buy a loaf of bread. We went all by ourselves. I still can't remember a day that my mother would have accompanied me to buy a loaf of bread rather than asking me, go and bring a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
But I don't see that happening nowadays because of the environment. Parents are scared. It's not only the COVID, but maybe how the society works now. It's so not safe enough for kids. So with all these things and COVID coming up, I think parents, they kept their kids too close to them and they applied their own theories and made a huge blunder. Whereas they should have socialized more, they should have played more, they should have worked with teamwork, they should have made friends, they should have played with kids and learned to win or lose.
Isn't it ironic that we have social media now, which allows us to meet more people than ever before? But if you ask children in school how many friends they have less friends than we did when we were in school. Probably less than you did when you were in school.
Definitely.
Why is that?
I believe it's because of that we have lost the human touch.
Absolutely.
If I had social media when I left school, I'm sure my friend list would have been much more. The connections would have been much more stronger. Because we grew up in a proper way, had the basics of making friends and things like that. And then we got the support from social media to stay connected.
To enhance that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas nowadays, they have social media from the initial stages just before they learn how to make a conversation, make a
connection.
Connection, yes.
Yes.
Correct. So with that, even as of now, I find sometimes there are people, when you meet in person, they don't smile or talk sometimes, but they try to be your Facebook friends.
Yeah.
Which does not matter at all.
It's absurd. It's absurd because at the end of the day, for us to have a real connection, now honestly, that's one of the reasons I do this podcast, right? Because you and I meet online weekly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But we'll never form a connection that goes anything deeper than student and teacher unless we meet physically. I feel like the fact we meet in person, we have a conversation like this. I mean, after this is done, we'll have a conversation.
Yeah.
I feel like that connection will go a little deeper than just meeting online and speaking to you weekly.
Definitely.
So I think that is very important for children of all ages to be able to interact with others, have a good connection with others, know how to build up a conversation, because if not, it's absolutely detrimental to the survival of humanity if we don't know how to connect with other people. How has, you said you started Aquatots, which is a medium for children to come and explore other activities outside of just their studies.
Yeah.
Have you seen an improvement in children since you started this? What type of change have you seen?
Very much. So our vision has always been to improve the next generation, to build a stronger generation using life skills. So be it swimming, karate, dancing or music, these activities impact in a very different way that it's very difficult to understand how impactful this is. Because I have seen kids not being able to properly speak up despite their age, because we deal with a lot of smaller kids as well. But still, when they come on stage or come to the program of swimming or whatever the class it is, sometimes they find it difficult to speak up. And I have witnessed that these kids, little by little, they make friends, they get okay with the coach, they get into discipline, they get into a certain structure, they know how to start, they know how to dress up for that particular sport. And mostly I think they get automatically disciplined through these activities. And with that, they become very confident. And then they start talking, now what we have is, we find it difficult to sometimes control them because they talk too much. I have seen the swimming coach always shouting, here no shouting, no conversations, just listen to me. But previously when they started, maybe kids 6 months or 1 year back, I saw kids were kind of freezed, but there's a huge improvement. And apart from that, the school has sports meets, then the Urdu programs are there. And I have seen and I have witnessed, the winners are always kids who have done these extra activities.
Absolutely.
So that's some evidence that these kids who do this extra work build so much of great character.
Absolutely.
And they shine and they glow. Wherever you go, you see a certain difference in them. And it's lovely. It's lovely to look at them. And I'm very happy inside that there's certain value coming to them, to their lives. Whereas if we were given these kind of life skills when we were smaller, we would have also been better people. But still, at least for the next generation, I'm sure what we do will make a huge impact. It might not be a quantitative value, but it'll be a huge quality value that they will get.
Absolutely. Now, coincidentally, we both went to the same school.
Yeah.
What was your time in school like? Did you do a lot of extracurriculars? And what was the biggest difference that you noticed during your time in school and kids now?
Well, I would say you have this thing called old school, right?
Yeah.
So we were old school, that I would say.
Yeah.
And we had very strict, very strict,
I was just going to say.
very strict teachers, very strict reverends who were whacking us all the time.
Yeah.
But it was a real great experience. I think we both went to one of the best schools in Sri Lanka. And I am forever grateful again to this school because it did shape us. I'm sure we did all the things that we shouldn't do,
Yeah.
but still the school gave us that little details. I'm sure even a piece of toffee paper, if it was on the ground, I have been punished not because I have not picked it up. Those kind of disciplines were given from the school. There are so many other experiences that we must have gone through, but I'm sure the school gave a great discipline learning for us. Apart from that, I think the studies and the ability to associate with good kids, students, friends, and also it gave us so much of opportunities to choose whatever, whether it's dancing, music, sports, all the sports we had, athletics. But unfortunately, I was not a guy who did all these things despite having all those opportunities. But I did play for under 13 cricket, and that definitely, I still remember, it did shape me up in a different way. It gave me a lot of better things in life. I wish I had the vision or the support to do other things as well. I wish my family background, or maybe somebody pushed me to do a little bit more into activities, maybe interact club, things like that. Unfortunately, those things I was not able to do because what we were focused was to do the things in the opposite way. You know, if we were told to do something, we always try to not do that thing.
Yeah.
So we were pretty bad, but we did survive, I would say.
Yeah.
But the school always gave so much of things, so much of opportunities, and I'm sure the school is now doing wonderfully well. Back in our days, the washrooms were not the best places to go.
Now it's actually quite good. I don't know if
Good.
you've been to school, because I remember even when I was in school,
Yeah.
they renovated it during my 13 years of college. They probably renovated it twice.
Okay.
Both the times within a week it was back to how it used to be. Now, after the most recent renovations, it's been close to, I believe it's more than a year.
Yeah.
Spick and span.
Ah.
I don't know how they're maintaining it, but it's been maintained really well. It's very nice.
So those are the opportunities that the nowadays kids are getting.
Yeah.
So they are given so much of opportunities, child-friendly environments, which is very important when they start their life with learning a lot of things, new things. I think those opportunities are very essential.
One interesting point I want to bring up, because you're also in the education space, your wife is an educator. Now, like you said, when you were in school, when I was in school, our teachers were strict, and getting hit was an everyday occurrence. We used to get thrashed, slapped, caned, kicked, right? It was all there.
Yeah.
And it really didn't stop us from doing, cutting classes or whatever. But to a certain degree, there was fear.
Yeah.
That, okay, if we do get caught, we are going to be punished in some way.
Yeah.
And I think, now I don't know how it was in your own family background, but in my family, my father was very strict.
Yes.
And the fear of my father stopped me from doing a lot of really bad things in life.
Yeah.
Right? Now, when you look at the current generation of children, teachers not allowed to scold, teachers not allowed to hit, parents themselves to a certain degree are very mellow with how they handle their kids. Do you think this has impacted children positively? Has it made them more confident? Has it made them speak out more? Or has it impacted them negatively in a sense where they're less disciplined, they have no drive, they have no sense of fear? What is your thought on this as an educator?
In my view, I think the impact is on negative side.
Negative side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because why I say that is respect. Respect is very important when it comes to anything. Whether it's respecting time, whether it's respecting each other, whoever sits next to you, whether you respect. Because everything starts with respect. And when you have lost the respect for your teachers, when you think that I can mess your teacher, that kind of idea, when that is there, it's very difficult to learn. But especially when they are young, because nowadays, I mean, once you are a grown up, it's different. Whether you have to respect or not, you can always choose. But when it's kids, I believe that respect, that fear is a compulsory thing that they should have. Because with that, I don't think they will have the proper backgrounds put into them. And apart from that, we as adults also should have a certain understanding and a certain standard in the ways that we punish them. Like back in those days, yes, maybe we were tough at that time for some reason. Maybe the environment, maybe the whole setup. We used to play in the rain and nothing happened. We used to bathe in the river, sea, nothing happened, we survived. But nowadays, if a child plays in the rain, next day the child will not be well. So that kind of a history is there. So all in all, we as parents, we as adults, who have gone through life through difficult things, I think we shouldn't pass on the difficulties to the kids, but we should have a proper balance to teach them right things in the right way. We should have a responsibility to punish them in a correct way or a balanced way. I don't think the way that we were punished were the right ways. Definitely, maybe 90% of the ways that we were punished was wrong. But we had the heart to still respect them. I mean, we are not going to hit them if we meet them tomorrow. Or we are not going to shout at them or embarrass them. We would still go and respect them. So likewise, I believe in order to maintain that respect level, there has to be some kind of a differentiation. When they feel that we are all in the same platform, it's very difficult to teach someone. There has to be the authority of being able to punish as and when required properly.
Absolutely. Now, the kids that come, you said you have close to about 350 students enrolled.
Yeah.
What are the age groups? Now, you said your wife does mainly preschool.
Yeah.
Are all 350 students in that age group, or you have older students as well?
So the school is about 120, 125.
Okay.
For me, at Aquatots is about 350 kids registered.
Okay.
And those kids are starting from preschool ages up to maybe 15, 16.
What is the toughest age group for you to manage?
The earliest, the preschool ages.
Preschool ages. There's a lot of responsibility that goes into molding children at that age, isn't it?
Yes, very much. Because they are also still trying to understand what's going on. They want to play. That's the only thing that they want to do. They don't want to discipline themselves.
Yeah.
They don't understand when we say this is what you should do.
Yeah.
And their concentration span is very
less.
minimum.
Yeah.
So with that, it's very difficult. And apart from that, like I said, parents are so glued to their kids. Sometimes I have seen when it's swimming, when we start at the initial stages, the kid in each and every class, the little ones, sometimes they are okay. They do the things that we ask them to do. But once they see their parent, they sometimes cry. Because they have that some kind of a connection, and which makes them go back to your mother and try to stay glued to the mother. So the parents also should have a certain responsibility and understanding that there has to be a certain distance at certain times when it comes to things like this. Because if the parent does not understand this, the parent is doing a harm to the child, not giving that space, not giving the opportunity to work independently, and that makes the child more and more weaker.
Absolutely. Now, you speak very good English, right? You've been having a very good conversation with me. You speak very good English. And I'm sure even in the banking industry, the English language was a powerful tool that you would have used when you were moving up the ranks.
Yeah.
How important is the English language to succeed A, in the corporate sector, and B, in your own business?
Well, English is a must. Because I don't think anybody would respect you, or you won't be even be able to go through your interview without English. Luckily, we, from our school and maybe from our family backgrounds as well, we got a little bit of English. I won't say I'm at the highest level, but average I can continue with a small conversation, but there's so much of space for me to grow, and that's why I also joined your program as well. So with this, what I have seen is coming to the corporate world, yes, going through the interview and then connecting with your people, connecting with your superiors. Not only that, when it comes to clients, because you get to meet, discuss, do things with lot of different clients. And everywhere, English is very important. Whether you enter your work to the system, whether you read a credit paper, whether you read the mandate, it's all in English. So without English, there's no survival at all. You can be the best marketeer, you can be the best, I don't know, whatever it is. But without English, you're nothing. But if you add English to all these best marketeers or best workers, best operational guys, best credit guys, once you add the English, they become untouchable. So English is a very important thing, and it will take you to places. When it comes to, and I should also remember that when it comes to the corporate world, there are so much of presentations that you need to do. Despite of the client's connections, whatever your platform is, whatever your department is, you always need to highlight and show your management, your superiors, how you have done. And without doing that, you will never get a promotion as well. So whether you do your work right or wrong, it's how you present yourself. And that will make the biggest difference. Because nowadays everything is digitalized, all these systems are in place. But what cannot be done is presenting something in a presentable way. And that presentation will change the whole outcome.
Like I said, you're very good at speaking in English. What made you search for a public speaking class, and out of the multiple classes out there,
Okay.
what made you join our program?
Interesting question. So Shashan, from my smallest ages, my mother pushed me to learn English. But definitely, despite she putting me to elocution, spoken English, all these classes, like I said, we were not these good kids, right? Sometimes I can remember going to the elocution class, turning from the gate, not going to the class, okay? Just coming back and watching cartoon maybe. But my mother didn't know. So we didn't take all these opportunities and the chances which were given at that time. But I truly wish I took it in a good spirit and upgraded myself from those levels, from those ages. Now your question, why I chose you. So recently, maybe last year, our school, they had their concert, annual concert. So they had a plan to compare. And the compere was chosen to be one of the past students, maybe 10 years old. So my wife always gets me to do the hard work, do the structure and do all these things. So what I did was I wrote a script for this child, because I know she won't be able to just go up and do the thing. But even for me, I always felt being in front of all these parents, 125 kids means there will be about 250 parents. So that's a huge gathering. And with the lights on, with the cameras, with the mics, I was always wondering how this child is going to survive. But still, she had that, she was one of these kids who do elocution classes and speech and drama exams. So my wife had the confidence that this girl will do it properly. So I wrote down the script and I got her to practice a little bit. And in front of me, she came out quite well. So it was just one rehearsal. And the following day we had the concert. And I was amazed when she was dressed up for that and how brave she was. She was never shivering. And I felt even if I was to go in front of the mic and speak few words, at least to say hi, good evening, I would have shivered. I felt that. But this little girl, with all the mighty in her heart, she did her thing. She went on to the reading the script, and she balanced everything. There were some mishappenings with the little kids running here and there, but she always took a little time, but she managed everything very nicely. But I felt it would have been much more nicer if she did more rehearsals. I felt if she had more power in her words. Maybe if she used a little bit of humor at certain times. Maybe if she had kind of more liveliness in her performance. I thought things would have been much more nicer, much more colorful. So with that in mind, once the program was over, I went and thanked her mother for allowing her to come and do our presentation. So her mother said, I'm really busy with all my work. If you know a place or a person who could take her to a different stage, please support us and find a good lecturer or a institution. So with that in mind, I actually scrolled through the internet and Facebook and social media, and I came across your advertisement. And I felt this guy is speaking very powerfully, very loud and very clear. And I felt, wow, if I can get this guy to train our kids as well, not only the girl who did the presentation, but for all the kids, that would have been wonderful. That's how I felt at that time. So with that in mind, I called your number, and the coordinator actually explained that you are a bit of a busy person, and I asked whether there's any possibility one day of the week to come over to our area and do a certain program. Then he asked, why don't you go through the program and see? And then I felt, in a way, yes, if I'm trying to introduce a program to these kids, first of all, I should know what you're going to teach from this program. And with that, I thought, hey, I'm almost retired. I'm not doing anything serious in that nature. And I also always felt I was not a great speaker, especially in public. You may know all the spellings or grammar, all these things, but when it comes to speaking in public, sometimes I do freeze. And with that in mind, I got the chance to enroll to your program. And as at today, I feel very privileged and blessed because, whatever I didn't learn from my smallest ages, I got the chance to learn, even despite being an adult. I got the chance to learn from one of the best institutions who do public speaking.
That's amazing. I think the sales guy deserves a raise.
I don't know whether he was being strategic or... No, what I felt, Shashan, I think I have a huge respect for you, mainly because now I said I was in the banking sector. So when we are bankers, one of the greatest talents we kind of put into ourselves is that we try to see things transparently, because we get so much of clients who lie to us, right? When they want to get a loan, when they want to get a credit card, they keep on lying. Just to meet the criteria, they keep on lying. So usually what we get is, that type of clients.
Yes.
So we have to question them, verify details, and come to a certain understanding of what the reality is. So we have that little bit of a power to understand when we see a business, when we go to a shop, wherever we go, we see things transparently rather than seeing it in the way somebody else would see it. We see it in a different way. We see whether it's making profits, we see whether it's doing right kind of thing, the service levels, the service audits, all these things. automatically say, because we have been through these kind of things, all over and over again. So we see things transparently. As same with your program, what I saw was this amazing factor, because I'm sure there are many public speaking lecturers or institutes who do this kind of business, but do they truly teach you? That's my question. In your program, what I found was you teach these real fundamentals that should be in us, because this, I believe, is also one of the best life skills that somebody should have. Everybody should have this life skill of being able to speak in public. So your program actually did teach us so much of things from the ground level. That is very important, because there's no point saying go and practice or go and do what or think and do, because sometimes we don't know. The main thing that I wanted to mention was the lesson about breathing. I can remember, Shashan, once I joined my first bank when I worked. The bank, they had a draw every month. They had a draw of giving out a Mercedes car. So at that time I was 19 years old. I was very free and very energetic. The branch manager thought, this guy is amazing, this guy talks nice. And he chose me to be the presenter for the lottery winners. So I thought, just the way that I faced the interview, just the way I talk with the manager, I'm sure I'm going to be able to just dish out the names. But once I was there, the senior managers were there, the chairman of the bank was there, so all these big shots were there. And now the lottery, the machine was spinning. And now they were giving me the details to read out. But I can remember, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe, right? I swallowed all my words. I couldn't just read out a name. I really struggled. So from that day onwards, I was kind of hiding from public speaking or any events like that. I was always, hiding myself. So last week when you did that lesson about breathing exercises, I felt, oh my God, all this time, maybe after 20 years now, I'm understanding why that happened to me at that time. So I think this public speaking life skill is a heavenly skill that you should inculcate in everybody. And I think you're doing a wonderful job. So I'm so thankful for that.
Thank you. All right, Dinit, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you taking the time and coming. I hope you have got something valuable from our program, and I think you said you did. So I'm very grateful for the positive comments you gave. I, again, have to extend a very big thank you, because I know you're traveling from Maravilla. It probably took a lot of time for you to come here. So thank you very much for being a part of my program today.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to click that like button and let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Till our next video, keep practicing.